Hi, my name is Keith Slider, and the title of today's presentation is Building Trust when Communicating Science to the Public. Building trust is a prevalent concern when communicating science to the public. The role of science communication should not only be to communicate information succinctly and efficiently, it should also be to build trust by performing ethically, conveying scientific information transparently, and maintaining a credible professional and social reputation. Trust must be earned through relationship building and disseminating accurate and reliable data that is explained in a simplified form. Unfortunately, there is a declining trust in science and scientists. Depending on one's culture, some groups have bona fide reasons to be suspicious of science and government. For example, African American men are a specific demographic that have legitimate reservations regarding the veracity of American scientists with the Tuskegee syphilis study. The Tuskegee syphilis study was probably one of the most diabolical acts performed by scientists in conjunction with the partnered support of the American government. The purpose of the study was to reportedly observe the natural history of untreated syphilis. The study, however, exclusively used African American men as experimental subjects, injecting them with syphilis, failing to treat them, and monitoring their untreated stages of the progression of the syphilis disease, all without their consent. The government-sanctioned study lasted for over 40 years, and African American men were not only dehumanized, but were emasculated to be unknowingly treated as experimental subjects. Even though it has been over 5 decades since the study was halted, the implications of mass transmission of sexually transmitted disease, sterility, paralysis, death, and mistrust still lingers among generations of African American men. On the surface, some scientists explain away the public's distrust by assuming that the public has challenges with understanding scientific information. However, the problem with today's scientific communication is not that people don't understand it or simply just don't get it. The problem is mostly in the presentation itself. Many people publicly express doubts about the validity of scientific findings. Therefore, scientific presenters should tailor their message to the specific audience that they are speaking or writing to. They should manage how they frame the scientific topic and therefore frame it in a clear and concise way that makes it easier for the public to grasp. And lastly, they should consider condensed global issues into local or more meaningful issues. Scientists are not known to be super engaging with media, or anyone for that matter. So developing their interactions with the media may prove to be a fruitful benefit to help improve gaps identified. Scientists have often been selfish communicators, and consequently, they historically took the public trust for granted. They often demanded respect for their works without earning the trust of the people and viewing the necessity to live a reputable, respectful lifestyle. Sarah Fisk expressed it best when she stated, "We have the respect of the audience, but we don't have their trust." Trust is about the perceived motivation the communicator to be trusted desires. In communication, we must therefore learn to reconcile science with the public trust. And before this happens, we must understand that people are not idiots. People have different views of science, and people want to understand who we are and what motivates us to do what we do. In our communication, especially about science, we must realize that even though it is informative and valuable, it will be contested at some point. Therefore, we must do our best to use every tool within our toolbox to make data credible, believable, irrefutable, and very accessible. The social media platform provides a means of communicating effectively and bridging the knowledge and trust gap that currently exists between scientists and the general public. Social media communications are available 24 hours a day regarding any subject matter imaginable. Not only are they available during this time, but due to the advancement of mobile online technology, they are readily available and accessible in almost every space. Scientists have failed to communicate effectively, and this failure has not only created a knowledge gap, but has created a trust gap. Trust is about, again, perceived motivation. Having researched the use of social media platform use in science communication, and having seen a bulk of evidence that suggests that social media communication by scientists has led to increased citation rates, impact scores, and other indicators of significance, the implication of social media with an effective social media plan is a viable strategic approach for remedying scientific communication problems among the public. Thank you.